श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। सद्गुरु श्री साईनाथ निशरत बाबूजी की जय। RosePetals, Volume 2, Chapter 6, Light on Anger. Devotee. What is anger? How does it arise? Guruji. Everybody has an image of their own self, what they think they are in the eyes of others. That is what we call ego. We use the word ego very loosely. We should erase the ego. The ego should not be there, it should be destroyed. But what is that ego actually? Have you ever thought of it, anybody? You say I is the ego, but is that an answer? Just a simple I is the ego? Then why don't you use the word I instead of ego? Normally, in our experience, ego is what we think we are in the eyes of others. It's not an exact definition, but it gives us some idea. Devotee. Why do you differentiate between what others think we are and what we ourselves think we are? Guruji. Because what we think usually depends on what others think of us. In fact, not what others think, but rather what we think others think of us. We may believe that everyone thinks us to be great, while they may not actually be thinking like that. And then the problem comes. If this image is disturbed in any way, anger springs up. Devotee. Guruji, anger also sometimes comes when nobody else is there, all of a sudden. Guruji. It won't come just like that. What happens is you will be recalling an incident or you will be anticipating something which affects your image, this ego. Even though we may be physically alone, we are in the company of something, a memory or the anticipation of something. It might be the effect of something that happened before, which at the time we suppressed because of the circumstances, and then when we are alone, it comes as a recollection, a memory, a shade of it. Secondly, anger may come because of misunderstanding, not being able to clearly understand something. Thirdly, we may get angry if we experience pain or if we start to feel uncomfortable. Grossly speaking, these are the three reasons for anger. If you think of any of the instances when you get angry, it will be one of these three. The first, remembering or anticipating something which affects our image, is quite imaginary. It doesn't have any real basis. So if we start thinking clearly and realistically and see that it is based on something imaginary, we can limit its effect to some extent. The second, lack of understanding. We can remedy by having clarity. As for the third, experiencing pain or feeling uncomfortable, the antidote is love, having a positive emotion. Unlike the first reason, this one is real. If somebody beats you, that is not imagination or a myth. With regard to the second reason, which is connected to the first, I usually give the example of traveling on a bus or a train. You are sitting in your seat and somebody comes and steps on your toe. That causes you pain. You say, "Hey, can't you see? Are you blind? What is this nonsense?" And you shout at him and become very angry. Then the person standing next to him says, "I'm sorry, madam, but he can't see, he is blind." Immediately, that same anger becomes, "Oh, I'm very, very sorry. Please excuse me. I did not know that when I shouted at you. Please come and sit down." And then we even give our seat to him. Just think of the situation. What happened to your anger there? What was the mechanism behind it? What hurt you was not the physical pain. If that was the reason, you would have still been angry because the pain remained. Your toe still hurt. So it was not the pain that triggered anger. There was an expectation that the other person should behave properly in a certain way towards you. So it was the lack of politeness that hurt you. When you know that he didn't mean to do it, that it was only because of some physical limitation, the whole thing changes immediately. You even get up from your seat and offer it to him and stand yourself. What has happened to the anger? How has it transformed into compassion and love? Try and apply that in the same way to different situations. Why am I getting angry? Oh, I was expecting that from him. That's why I'm angry. When you play with your child and she stands on your chest and starts jumping up and down, it's painful. It's definitely painful, but you say, "Oh, my sweet, come on, jump more, jump more." If pain were a reason for anger, you should be angry with the child. Why are you not getting angry then? Devotee: because there is love. Guruji: because there is love. We usually think that we are angry because something has happened or because he has done this or she has done that, but that is meaningless. It is not the reason. There is something behind it. If you try to explore what that is, even though you might not be able to eradicate your anger totally, at least you will reduce the instances of it. Our anger shows that the image we have of ourselves, of what others think of us, is false. You think that people should respect you and love you and behave towards you in a certain manner, but it's not happening. If it is not happening, it means that what we have understood is not true. What we think is wrong. Why should we expect love and respect from others, and why should we get angry with them? Why do we beg for affection, concern, love, and all these things from other people, and then get angry if they don't show it? We beg for attention and we desperately want other people to behave according to our wish. If we can understand the mechanism behind our anger, it will cease. It may come back, but again, if we can understand it, it will slowly vanish. So, as I said, the second reason for your anger is that you don't have clarity, you don't have clear understanding. And the third reason is you don't have the simple love which you are always talking about. Love, love, love. I should have love. Devotee: but Guruji, how to go about it? When anger flares up, there is a strong physical reaction in the body, so it's almost too late then to tell myself there's a lack of love, isn't it? Guruji: when any emotion is strong, it triggers a bodily reaction. That's all. That bodily reaction is not important. Just shedding tears is not crying. It is the suffering, the sorrow that you feel in your heart, that is the actual sorrow. Even if you cut onions, you'll get tears in your eyes. So don't bother about physical reactions. People react in different ways, and for some, their body is more susceptible to the flush of the emotions. But I am talking about the basic emotion itself. Devotee: I would like to have a recipe for what to do next time it happens, or for how to catch it. Is it possible to catch it before somehow? Guruji: if you understand one thing, you'll be able to overcome it. For instance, if somebody comes and starts telling you their sorrows, talking about all their problems, and you get fed up and start getting angry, think about yourself in the same situation. If you have a problem, you want some solace, and then maybe you come and tell me. What you expect is that I should react to you with love, with concern, with understanding. Or maybe you go to Baba and pray, "Oh, this is the way I am. I am not capable of anything much. Please accept me and take care of me." When we are trying to be accepted as we are by somebody, why can't we accept somebody else like that? We don't accept the other person, but we want to be accepted ourselves. That person just wants to tell us their difficulties. What is it that we lose by simply listening, even if we can't do anything? And if you are able to do something, do it. Devotee: how can we get ourselves into a state where we do not feel this anger, this pain, and this hurt? Guruji: only by having the love kindled in your heart by a Sadguru. Once you have the love in you, then you don't see evil. you can see only ignorance. You sympathize with others and you can understand their aggression. What did Jesus say? Even when he was being crucified, nailed to the cross, what was it he said? Father, they know not what they do. Forgive them. His tolerance came from that wisdom, that love. And Baba also reacted like that. He said, if a child passes a stool on your leg, will you hit her? Will you cut off your leg? No, because a child doesn't know what she is doing. So saints don't feel it as aggression. If our children do some mischief, how do we look upon it? For that kind of attitude, our heart should be filled with love. The love should be springing up and filling our heart. Only then is it possible to be like that. And once you have it, all else follows. Jesus was not seeing evil at all. Devotee. Until we get the experience of love, how can we deal with the anger that is already existing? Guruji. By understanding, by concern, by sympathizing with the other person and understanding their situation. With that, the anger won't stay. Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki Jai. Sadguru Shri Sainath Nisharat Babuji ki Jai.